is referring to this argument one can make using flawed mathematical induction to prove the statement that all horses are the same color. This argument is usually used as an example of how not to do mathematical induction, because obviously all horses are not the same color in real life. You can go read the full argument on the Wikipedia, but basically the argument comes down to doing this kind of like logical sleight of hand. You can trick people into saying, well, if this group of one horse is always the same color, then all groups of horses are the same color. Therefore, all horses are the same color. List of people who have died on the toilet. So yes, Wikipedia has a pretty comprehensive list dating back all the way to 581 BC of people who died on the John. The oldest person on here is Duke Jing of Jin from China, who in 581 BC apparently died falling into a toilet pit. And the most recently added person to this list is a man by the name of Aaron Henderson, who was apparently crushed to death by a bulldozer while using a portable toilet. Holy shit. And yes, Elvis Presley is on here. Language deprivation. So when kids are not exposed to speech or any languages while growing up, it can cause a lot of different developmental issues. Throughout history, there have been a handful of examples of humans being completely deprived of language from an early age. Some of these cases were due to abuse. Jeannie Wiley is probably one of the more prominent examples of someone who received pretty much no language stimulation growing up, as she spent from about age 20 months old to age 13 locked in a room alone, strapped to a chair or in a crib. After getting out of the abusive situation, she was of course taken into care, and she was very developmentally delayed. And her language abilities were extremely rudimentary, almost non-existent. And although over time she was able to acquire more words and speak some simple sentences, it appears her language skills still remain far behind that of a normal person. She's actually still alive till this day. Project A119. In 1958, the U.S. Air Force considered launching a nuke into space and blowing it up on the moon. They were going to do this for political reasons. It was going to be like a show of force. They also said that there might be some scientific benefits to doing this too. The explosion would have probably been visible by the naked eye from Earth. This project was canceled because it would have been really politically risky. If the launch had failed, it would have been pretty dangerous to people on Earth, and apparently they were also concerned with contaminating the moon with their fallout. Polar Bear Jail. So up in Manitoba, there's a town called Churchill, and there's quite a lot of polar bear activity in the area. And so if a polar bear is deemed to be a threat to the people there, they will have it tranquilized and often placed into this polar bear jail they've built there. The idea is that so later down the line they can pick up this polar bear in a helicopter and drop him off back in the wilderness. Execution by elephant. There are quite a few examples throughout history of elephants being used to execute people. Apparently, in some instances, elephants were trained not to kill instantly, but to prolong the pain. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this one, but it's as brutal as it sounds. It's through this article that elephant swords are a thing. An elephant sword is a sword that's attached to an elephant's tusk. Buffalo, 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 buffalo. Okay, so I'm sure many of you guys watching this video have probably heard of this one before, but I'll throw it in here because why not? Technically, saying 8 buffaloes in a row is a correct English sentence. The key to understanding this is that buffalo can mean other things besides, just the animal. To buffalo someone means to like bully or intimidate them, and buffalo is also a location. Like there's Buffalo, New York. So this sentence is saying that like buffalo from Buffalo, which buffalo, 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 buffalo. If you don't understand what I'm saying, here's a diagram. Okay, for real, if you actually want to understand it, I think the best way is to just take this sentence and then imagine if all of the words were just buffalo. Chicago cats, which Denver dogs bully Minnesota mice. Glass delusion. Glass delusion is a very rare psychiatric condition where the patient believes that their body is made out of glass. King Charles VI of France had this condition, and it caused him to apparently wear a suit of armor and thick clothing to prevent his body from shattering. He also didn't want people touching him. Stubbins Firth. Okay, so this is kind of weird. Stubbins Firth was a guy who entered the University of Pennsylvania in 1801, and while he was there, he theorized that yellow fever was not contagious, and to prove that it wasn't contagious, he began exposing himself to the bodily fluids of yellow fever patients. According to one source I found, he exposed himself to the disease in every way he could imagine. He smeared himself with blood, urine, sweat, and black vomit of yellow fever patients. He trickled the vomit into his eyes. He even drank undiluted vomit fresh from the mouth of a patient. Even after doing all of this, he never got yellow fever though. And so he concluded that yellow fever wasn't actually contagious. Well, he was wrong. Down the road, people would figure out that, yes, yellow fever is contagious, but it's mostly just transferred through mosquitoes and, in rare cases, blood. So, Stubbins Firth did that all for nothing. Shaggy defense. So the term shaggy defense is referring to a legal defense strategy someone might use in court, and what it is even if someone presents you overwhelming evidence that you are guilty, you just keep saying it wasn't me. This phrase comes from that song by Shaggy where he gets caught cheating in 4K and he just keeps saying it wasn't me. The Wikipedia page has a couple examples of people trying to use the Shaggy defense method in court. One of the cases involves R. Kelly, one involving a guy who just hit a dude fixing a stoplight with his trailer when he drove by. Frog battery. A frog battery is an early design for a battery that mostly just existed for research purposes. A frog battery involves taking the muscles off of frogs and basically lining them up, and this will generate a tiny bit of detectable electricity. Mojave phone booth. The Mojave phone booth was an extremely isolated phone booth in the middle of the Mojave Desert. It was about 70 miles south of Las Vegas, with basically nothing surrounding it in the middle of nowhere. Apparently, it was originally put there to service miners in the area. The phone booth started garnering a little bit of attention online in the 90s, so people started making trips out to it. But not long after this started happening, the park requested that they remove the list of hazing deaths in the United States. This is a super long list of college hazing incidents. Some of them date all the way back to 1738. I was looking through this list. Probably one of the more standout stories on this list is about a 19-year-old kid by the name of Tim Piazza. Just the certified transcript, photo, the essay, that's a T-score that it says. Others recommended.
Ah, okay. Sure. I already shared it with you, Tate. I'll send it to you again, though, but I already shared it with you.
What a commercial. When you can have all the comforts. Benjamin David Simmons, three-time All-Star, two-time All-Defensive Team member, and a one-time All-NBA team member. If this was the year of our Lord 2021, when he was 24 years old, people all over would be cheering, seeing the progress of the man who was hailed as the next Magic Johnson. As a 6'10", 240-pound point guard who is a true mismatch nightmare against teams and can torture you from anywhere inside the arc. But now, as of October of 2025, Ben Simmons is 29, has major mobility issues, has some of the worst PR in the league, and is somehow 1 foot out of the league as the number one overall pick of the 2016 NBA draft, where he was thought to be a sure Hall of Famer at the end of his career. Well, how did we get to the point where the only offers he's attracting today is a vet minimum for the New York Knicks, where last year he was only given a small niche bench role with the Los Angeles Clippers, and we have seen this man barely play any games within the last 3 seasons. Well, it's a long story, a story full of expectations bigger than the eye can see, a story full of great triumphs and future outlook, and a story where one moment started the harshest downfall I've ever seen from a former number one overall pick. This is the puzzling rise and fall of Ben Simmons, and we are about to go into a deep dive of how Ben Simmons went from a Hall of Fame trajectory to damn near unemployed in just under a decade. With that being said, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like the video and subscribe, as we are officially on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So be sure to subscribe to be part of that, and of course, to catch more videos. But as usual, this will be a long one, but you already know who it is. Robert. Our favorite sport has finally returned. Basketball. The long summer of nothingness is over, and it's time to get ready for the season, both on the professional side and in the college world. And that's why I teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook for this video to tell you what you can do with the season right around the corner. Sign up using promo code OWLBE. New customers bet $5, get $800 if your bet wins, and in bonus bets.
Yeah. ¿Por qué? Huh? Así, Tati? No, that because that's the essay question. So I'm just like, that's the prompt. So this is the essay. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Okay, Ben Simmons a once in a while. Is he worth tanking? No, no, I don't think so. What do you see? I don't even know if I would take the number one pick right now. Who do you like? Neither. You see, but what was an upside to him? I do. I mean, I like Simmons. I really do. I think he's a basketball player. He reminds me. I mean, a lot of people talk about Magic, Ron. I don't see that player right now. It's been a small sample size. I see more than Lamar Odom. And you know what? No prospect is perfect, especially with that Simmons, considering how polarizing a unique prospect is. But the man put up numbers. He's shown the potential, and it is something we've truly never seen in over 30 years in the NBA draft. But here's my question. Some of us were blindly supporting Simmons no matter what. Was there any real merit to what the speculators had to say? Even though this isn't the best all-time place to look at, let's see what NBA.net has to say on Ben Simmons coming into the weekend. Well, funny enough, they start off by saying that his ceiling is that of LeBron James, but his floor is Lamar Odom, like Chauncey Billups said. But it makes sense as they were similar players with the Bills. But when it came to the weaknesses they spoke of, it opened up the eyes of people, especially those who understand how things turn out. Despite being the score, he lacks a reliable jump shot. His form doesn't have any glaring mechanical flaws, but it's apparent that it's the one element of his game that he isn't completely confident. He plays almost too unselfish at times, not a prolific scorer yet, to look to become more aggressive at himself. It makes sense where all this comes from, but the thing is, I think that is far as the problems go for Ben Simmons. An elite level defender and passer has the physicality and agility mismatch for everyone to beat, especially as he uses his body. And if scoring is the only aspect of the game by most people, that can easily be worked on NBA year after year, milestone after milestone, and baby step after baby step. So with this season over and the countdown to the NBA draft coming,
should be playing Rock to him.
Has Ben Simmons famously going number one overall.
Fake out.
10 and 76ers maintain slot is clear as day for Ben Simmons going.
Former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is calling on Californians to vote no on Proposition 50.
Bad crit.
Against democracy. This is why it's important to vote no Proposition 50.
Alright, good job, Kinko. Ascending, Lope. Wait, can it click? Yeah, I can definitely click Drain Punch. Look like Drain Punch. Good.
Delicious taste and friendly ingredients. Hello Toothpaste makes every day day.
Join Planet Fitness for $1 now, $15 a month. The deadline for this deal is October 31st.
QA kill? Should. Random move. Punch. First move. Good. 38. Good chance to kill.
But unfortunately now, and wanted to say experience with their plan of changing their top picks to lead them to their future salvation. And as of right now, it's yielding very interesting results. A lot of PR things. Sure. But Ben Simmons is now added to that long line of top 5 picks meant to make the 76 relevant again as a contender. Everything going on in the offseason is going great. Ben Simmons is hyped to play with Roman Lee, who's preparing to make him debut. 76 are rumored to make possible to go on and go towards contention. And for the first time, the 76ers fan base is hyped for an upcoming season. We see even Ben Simmons in Summer League showing off more development and taking jump shots. Really, they're really trying to experiment with a skill set that he has never yet shown. But we all know never to take the Summer League
very seriously, but he did show himself already to have a good start to the big career as the leader of the Philadelphia 76ers. But almost like a curse, the process 76ers continue to stay just as that, a process. During the little last scrimmage against Ben Simmons would broke his ankle and fractured his foot, which would mean that his rookie season would come to a screeching halt and wouldn't even have an opportunity to begin. Something that 76ers fans are way too seeing it takes long to take 2 to play his first NBA game. It's a disappointing start to some, but for others, it could be as a positive. As Ben Simmons has taken 365 days to train his body and gain some weight to truly be an NBA player out the gate, rather than within of a 19-year-old. And with this injury, he is around the system, game chemistry with his teammates, team practices, everything. So while he won't be able to play the 2017 season, if he plays his contract, he'll be in a way better position to start his career than anyone could have ever expected. The expectations for him are to be the next Magic Johnson. Well, the world is just going to have to wait and see if the next potential Magic Johnson is truly ready for the National Basketball Association. 2008 NBA season was going to be a big one for the Philadelphia 76ers for many reasons. Due to Ben Simmons' injury and Joel Embiid trying to get back on track for his NBA career, they got the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row drafted Markel Fultz. They now know Joel Embiid is a legit player after a stellar season, even though it only lasts like 30 games. They added pieces to help make this team put out worthy, and most importantly, is the rookie season of Ben Simmons, who added on to a bunch of his frame and is ready to help the 76ers become relevant again. The expectations for Ben Simmons remain the same. He is meant to be the next Magic Johnson point guard who take his team to the promised land and is again one of the most hype prospects since LeBron James. But now with an entire year to train his body to truly make him ready, what's meant to be Magic. Smart zone. Behind the back. It's through. Pulled down by fires away and fills it up. Goes behind the back.
Huh? Yeah, I saw it.
Simmons from the lane, just over 2.5 minutes in the third. Simmons.
Did I send you all of them? Oh, I did.